Now we have another brother from the same place. His name is Brother Tanvir Khan, and today he will be talking to us about physiology and how physiology is in the Quran and how it is being proved by modern science to this day.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we'll begin with physiology, and so if you could read the verse for me. We'll just put it up.
وَإِنَّ لَكُمْ فِي الْأَنْعَامِ لَعِبْرَةً نسقيكم مما في بطونه من بين فرث ودم لبنا خالصا سائغا للشاربين.
So the translation of this verse is that, verily in cattle there is a lesson for you. We give you to drink of what is inside their bodies, coming from a conjunction between the contents of the intestine and the blood, a milk pure and pleasant for those who drink it. So in discussing this verse, I'll give a little bit of background about cattle, in cows in specific. They eat up to 50 kilograms of feed a day, which usually consists of hay, grass, or grains, and they can drink up to a bathtub of water. And the milk producing process, they eat, and the food goes into their 4 stomachs, and because they have 4 stomachs, they're a lot better at digesting than we are. And after this, it moves to the intestines, and this is the part I'll be focusing on, because it's in the intestines that the nutrients are most absorbed, and it takes around 2 days for the cow to completely digest the food and process the food into milk, and cows can make up to 30 liters of milk in 1 day. So from the verse, we see that the word fars is being used, and this word can be translated as foods of the intestine, but also as partially digested food, or in other words, chyme. And chyme is the content that leaves the stomach and enters the intestines. And with modern science, we know that the intestines are the location where most of the food is absorbed. The food, a little bit is absorbed in the stomach, but the intestines play a really important role in absorbing the nutrients for the production of milk especially. And when the intestines absorb the food, it enters the bloodstream, and the blood takes it to all the vital organs. And so the blood is very important in terms of the cow's milk, because we know that the cow needs about 400 to 800 liters of blood to move the nutrients to produce just 1 liter of milk. And so we can see that the connection between the blood and the intestines is very important. And if we look at the verse again, we see the word mim baini. And this word can be translated from a conjunction between, meaning that the milk comes from a conjunction between the contents of the intestine and blood. And so we know that this conjunction is the intestinal wall, and this wall plays a very important role in absorbing the nutrients from the partially digested food and interacting with the blood, which takes the nutrients and sends it to the mammary glands of the cow. And this might all seem like common sense because we all took biology class, but 1400 years ago, people wouldn't have thought that this was how it was made. And the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this as a lesson, I believe, is because it sort of goes against common sense. People without prior knowledge, they wouldn't think that milk, pure milk that tastes good, comes from undigested food from the intestines mixed with blood. 2 very disgusting things. And it was only 600 years after the revelation of the Quran that we see that the first record of the circulation of blood was described, and it was actually done by a Muslim by the name of Ibn Nafis. And before this, it wasn't really known that the blood circulates throughout the body and sends nutrients to different organs. And 400 years after this, the knowledge was finally brought to the West. And it was only about 100 years ago from today that we learned that the intestines play such a crucial role in taking the nutrients from the food and in producing the proteins needed for producing milk. So to summarize this verse again, it says, verily in cattle there is a lesson for you. We give to you drink of what is inside their bodies, coming from a conjunction between the contents of the intestine and the blood, a milk pure and pleasant for those who drink it. And it says, and verily in cattle there is a lesson for you, and this is sort of like a biological lesson, because we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in detail describing how food is digested and then circulated with the blood to the mammary glands and as well as other vital organs. And so the second verse I'll go into, if you could read. Yeah.
وَإِنَّ لَكُمْ فِي الْأَنْعَامِ لَعِبْرَةً نسقيكم مما في بطونها ولكم فيها منافع كثيرة ومنها تأكلون.
So the translation of this verse, and in cattle too ye have an instructive example. From within their bodies we produce milk for you to drink. There are in them besides numerous other benefits for you. And of their meat ye eat. And this is from the Quran, chapter 23, verse 21. And again, this verse mentions that people are given drink and they're able to eat from cows. But it also mentions that we have many other uses for cows. And so I thought I would mention a few of these other benefits derived from cattle. For example, their fat has many uses. You can make candles, soaps, cosmetics, lotions, and their hides also have many other uses. The most well known is that you can use it to make leather, and we know that in the time the Quran was being revealed, people used to wear leather hoofs or leather sandals, and they used to carry their water in leather pouches. And leather is really good for this because it's waterproof and it lasts a long time. And the hide can also be used to make other textiles and felts. And in the medical field today, the hide is used as a base for many ointments. And one other very beneficial thing we get from cattle today is that millions of people get their insulin from cattle. And doctors are able to harvest the insulin and sell it to people who need it. And another medical use is that the intestines of the cow are used for making stitches or surgical sutures. And so to summarize, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that in cattle there is not only drink and food, but many other benefits. Today and throughout history, we have used all parts of the cattle, such as their hides, fats, organs, for countless reasons. And with that, I'll end.